We were just thinking about things that happened around our dinner table. And I grew up in the 60s and 70s. And the Vietnam War was definitely going on during that time and hit our family pretty hard. Uh, my oldest brother was wounded in Vietnam. He was a track star, and of course, he got machine gunned in the leg. And my other brother went a couple years later and did not return. So I will never forget the day that we were all sitting around the table, and my father was very, very strict. We had a big Italian family, and we had to come to the table. The girls were not allowed to have curlers in their hair. The boys had to have a collared shirt on. And we all had to be sitting down for dinner at 6 o'clock. There were no exceptions. And we even had to tell our friends, don't call at 6 o'clock. It's our dinner time. So we were sitting there, and it was one of the few nights that we had meat, like we had steak or something. We usually had different forms of pasta almost every night. But I remember we were sitting down to a really nice steak dinner, and the phone rang, and you could see everybody like, oh gosh, please make sure it's not one of my friends, because he's going to get on the phone and start yelling at him, why are you calling at 6 o'clock? Well, this was when we knew that my brother Ralph had been wounded in Vietnam, and they had sent him to Camp Zama, Japan for his surgery and recovery, and he was there for quite a long time. And I think, this is back in the day before cell phones and before you got instant notification of things. And I think my father had talked to the doctor one time, and they were going to try to save his leg. So we had many months of wondering how he was doing and, sending him things and writing letters and things like that. Well, when the phone rang this particular night, it was a doctor from Walter Reed Army Medical Center. And they called to tell us that my brother Ralph was there. They had shipped him in. We had no notice or anything. And it was just surreal. We all got up from the table. We left all the food and everything just sitting right there, and we all piled into two cars and down to the hospital we went. And we got to see him. I don't even remember now how many months it was. We didn't see him for several months while he was in country, and then we didn't see him once he was being taken care of in Japan. And I just remember how happy we were that he had made it home safe. And I remember I was afraid to hug him or touch him. I didn't want to hurt him.